Okay, guys, so Celia said he wanted me to react to this video. Thought it was interesting. I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to see if what they're saying is true or false. Just for a quick overview, I don't think that title is accurate. I believe YouTube will last 5 years. 5 years isn't that long, even if we're speaking about tech. Even in the world of tech, 5 years for a massive company like YouTube. If I just quickly put up on the screen, what is YouTube worth? Okay, it does not look promising for them, but that's not necessarily that bad. About 160 billion. I don't think that is accurate, even though everyone is saying something. Yeah, there you go. A little bit more. Either way, they're not a small company, and yes, they're not profitable, or I don't think they're profitable. But if we look at their parent company, I cannot type. Yeah, that's a little bit more than, yeah, about 1 trillion. I'm not going to pretend I understand all of this, but if they're saying it's about 1 trillion, I don't think that's entirely accurate. I think it might be more, might be less. I don't actually care. The point is that they are being funded by a massive company, Alphabet, who owns a massive company, Google, who owns YouTube. So I think they can keep this business venture running for another 5 years, even if it isn't profitable, which I don't think it is right now. So let's see what this guy has to say about this.
YouTube may no longer exist. With a few bad decisions, YouTube could soon become the new MySpace. And right now, it looks like TikTok would take its place, with TikTok developing a system for 10-minute plus videos in its attempt to destroy YouTube. But even today, with its short addictive videos, TikTok's growth is soon going to overtake YouTube's.
Well, in terms of growth, it probably has already overtaken YouTube because YouTube hasn't been growing all that much in the past while. Because it has such a big market that even though it has such a big market, they've basically taken over most of it. And because of that, they really don't have that much space to grow. Because even in a big pond, a massive fish won't fit in a big pond. So, yeah, we'll carry on with what he's saying here, but growth is kind of relative to how big you are right now. And TikTok isn't that big of a fish in YouTube's pond right now.
YouTube was made 17 years ago and amassed over 2.1 billion active monthly users in this time. However, in just 2 years, TikTok has amassed over 1 billion active monthly users and it shows no signs of stopping, which is why some of
Okay, yes. So again, that's a lot more growth. In terms of where I would be investing money, this is not investment advice, but you want to be investing money in a growing company, not a company that has grown so far that they cannot grow anymore.
Some of the biggest YouTubers and creators are moving their content onto TikTok and hedging their bets against YouTube. And now investors are also
Okay, sorry I'm pausing so much, but I don't think that all of those people who are moving to TikTok are moving there necessarily because they think it's going to be a better business decision. I think that TikTok has a better way of emotionally influencing people and thinking that all of the people who are watching their videos are actually watching their videos, which they're not. Most of them are bots. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the bots that watch people's videos are actually run by TikTok themselves to make more people make videos because they've got that dopamine rush of 1 billion people watched my video on TikTok, which they didn't.
following suit, with recent studies showing that Gen Z now engages with TikTok far more than YouTube. And while some like MrBeast are certain of YouTube's continued growth, due to YouTube being pre-installed on every Android phone and YouTube's solid revenue model, this could all change very soon. In as soon as 5 years, YouTube could soon lose its monopoly on video content. So what?
Yes, it could happen where they don't exist in 5 years. But YouTube won't exist in 5 years is very strong. I doubt that it will die in 5 years, maybe become irrelevant in 5 years, but I think YouTube will still be around 5 years from now.
What caused YouTube's decline? And how did TikTok manage to take over the titan that is YouTube? Well, this was largely a result of a few key business decisions that slowly poisoned YouTube's creativity. And weirdly enough, this all started back with PayPal. The story of YouTube starts with PayPal. At the time, PayPal was revolutionary, changing banking and commerce dramatically. It was because of PayPal that everyone could buy and sell things securely without the hassle of bank transfers. It was a quick, simple process to send money. PayPal's changes to the online banking industry were unprecedented, but PayPal was seizing on just one tiny opportunity in the sea of the whole internet. And PayPal employees Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jared Karam understood this. They needed to build their own internet project before it was too late. So their first idea was for a site called TuneIn Hookup, a video dating site where people could upload videos of themselves to find dates. But like most Silicon Valley stories, their first idea...
This is a very cringe idea for YouTube to come from, and I don't like it. Well, basically the whole origin place is how YouTube was made. They built up their company, and they weren't being profitable at all because servers are very expensive. Like I spoke about in Discord, it's very hard to run a service, an online service that hosts videos, which Discord does and YouTube does. So they had to find some other people to invest in an unprofitable company. Not a very easy task, if I do say so myself. So we can skip this whole origins thing. It's basically then Susan from Google bought YouTube, which is basically what they wanted in the first place, and it became what it is today. So then there you go.
Wanted to destroy YouTube. It was and by uploading their favorite videos onto their pages, this gained lots of viewers and publicity for YouTube. It was with all this growth and prosperity that now YouTube was starting to catch attention, but not always from the right places. As YouTube grew in popularity, more videos were uploaded every day, making it harder to prevent copyrighted material proliferating the platform. This culminated in a series of lawsuits and threats, with one of YouTube's first viral videos, Lazy Sunday, being taken down for infringing on copyright. This was a big vulnerability and could destroy the YouTube empire, so YouTube tried to make deals with the copyright holders like Universal and Viacom, but the mounting pressure from all sides kept growing as YouTube gained more steam. Every big company wanted to destroy YouTube. It was a threat to the entire entertainment industry, and a year later in 2006, these issues eventually proved insurmountable for the small company. The founders now had to make a big choice. Were they going to make YouTube one of the biggest websites in the world, or would they cash out? They'd already seen what large corporate interests could do to a company and its employees from their time at PayPal. However, the copyright problems were only getting worse. They were reaching the end stage of the Silicon Valley business formula. The formula where you create a site from the ground up, build sturdy foundations, a giant user base, and accrued investors, but now they were reaching the final stage. The stage where they realized they can't make a profit or even handle the countless lawsuits aimed at them. They decided it was time to jump ship and begin the acquisition process. Now it's important I introduce a new character who will become very important later in this video. Her name is Suzanne Wojcicki. Suzanne Wojcicki had been one of Google's first employees back in 1999. Her focus back then in Google was in advertising, and she was damn good at her job, where she would mastermind Google Ads, and eventually AdSense, which became the lifeline of all online creators. But arguably the most impressive thing she's done was convince the Google founders to buy YouTube in 2006.
Web giant Google will pay $1.6 billion to gobble up YouTube.
Because by convincing the Google founders to do this, Google would end up making one of the best and most profitable business decisions since its founding. And the person behind it all was Suzanne Wojcicki. And so after Google acquired YouTube for a little over $1 billion, the YouTube founders were now multi-millionaires. But this was only the beginning for YouTube. But before we get onto that, I want to talk to you about CleanFox and digital pollution.
Okay, yes,
CleanFox is a free web and mobile app. Now back to the video.
There you go.
At first, the deal worked perfectly for YouTube. Google would use its power to protect YouTube from copyright issues and handle all of the dirty work, while the founder Chad would continue his role as CEO and grow the company with the original vision. This mix of Google's money and power combined with Chad's vision brought a golden age to the internet, a place where YouTubers could take back power from the corporate media, gaining viewerships that rivaled CNN, Fox, Disney, and the best part was that anyone could do it. You can make a video about everything and anything and gain giant viewerships, which granted YouTubers immense creative freedom, whilst also giving fans the content they wanted to see.
Today with YouTube, that everyday people actually are the media. You guys don't just watch news, you make news.
This was the core of YouTube, a place where anyone anywhere could express their opinions, creativity, and personality to the world and be rewarded for doing so. Memes, rickrolls, cartoons, parodies, independent news, everything. In fact, without any of this, YouTube would have failed. Because what made YouTube stand out from every other site was the virality and creativity. Viral videos were the main factor for YouTube's original growth, with videos like The Evolution of Dance, Charlie Bit My Finger, David After the Dentist, and more. And with these viral videos getting enormous view counts and worldwide fame, other creators would take notice and flock to the platform and compete for views. Which is why YouTube's slogan was always broadcast yourself. And so with everyone jumping on YouTube for a piece of the pie, YouTube then realized that without them, the site would be nothing. These independent creators were the lifeblood of YouTube. So in December 2007, YouTube launched the Partner Program, which allowed channels that meet certain metrics to run ads on their videos and earn money doing so, thus creating the modern YouTube we see today. Because by incentivizing creators with money, this in turn led to more competition. And it was YouTubers' constant competition for views, doing everything they can for likes, subscribers, and engagement, that gave YouTube far more value than TV could possibly imagine. In fact, this made YouTube so popular that by just 2007 alone, YouTube consumed as much bandwidth as the entire internet in 2000. It was reported that by May 2010, YouTube was serving over 2 billion videos every day, which was almost double the primetime audience of all 3 major US television networks combined. According to figures from market research firm Comscore, YouTube was the most popular online video source in the United States in May 2010, with a market share of around 43% and over 14 billion videos seen. It was clear that YouTube was unstoppable, entertaining users endlessly each and every day. YouTube's growth generated a whole new wave of creativity and birthed a revolutionary period in internet history. This was the internet golden age, incentivizing the best, most creative entertainers to create engaging videos you couldn't find anywhere else. YouTube was undoubtedly the greatest website ever created. It was sending shockwaves around the world. Everything was perfect. Or so it seemed, because YouTube still wasn't actually profitable. Although by now it had attained a massive user base, companies still didn't see the value in running their ads on YouTube. And if YouTube couldn't find money fast, creators wouldn't be able to get paid, and so they would eventually leave the platform. If this issue continued, it would be the end.
No. They would not leave the platform. The dopamine from the likes and views would be enough for most people. The same reason people started putting their videos on YouTube in the first place. They want to become famous. Yeah, there's a lot more things than just ad revenue that people do on here. The issue is that they wouldn't have any full-time people living and making a living on YouTube, like PewDiePie and those kinds of people that arguably they make the highest quality content because that's all they have to do.
Of YouTube. So Google needed someone who could turn YouTube into what the advertisers wanted, whatever the cost for the average user or content creator. And of course, with Suzanne Wojcicki's past performance, she was the perfect person for the job. I mean, she was the person behind Google and YouTube's relationship in the first place. It's very likely that without Susan, Google would never have bought YouTube. I mentioned earlier that she worked on advertising for Google and most importantly created AdSense, with AdSense being the money behind the partner program which gives YouTubers a fair cut of the company's ad revenue. Without
Yeah, definitely 100% fair. I don't think that people are paying a fair amount for ads in the first place. Not going to get into that. But yeah, I'm not going to call the ad revenue fair in any way, shape, or form.
AdSense, none of your favorite YouTubers would even exist. YouTube wouldn't even exist.
Most of your favorite YouTubers wouldn't exist. YouTube definitely wouldn't be able to carry on existing unless Google valued your information as much as they do right now from the beginning of time.
exist. It was actually because of AdSense that big new media companies like Vice, Fox, BuzzFeed would begin to pop up out of nowhere.
That is accurate. People like Vice, BuzzFeed, those kinds of people, they only can run a business because of AdSense. A person like Linus Tech Tips runs a business with a lot of other stuff, but also AdSense. The same way that BuzzFeed has their own website as well that's driving money. Critical has his own website that also drives money. So AdSense is only one piece of the pie. When you have a large audience, you can get money in other ways, like Jake Paul advertising to children.
And more importantly, it motivated talented people around the world to pursue their creativity and passion for the potential of making bank, which had been evidenced by the huge flow of creators joining YouTube in the hopes of monetizing their dreams. By 2013, YouTube had over 1 million members in the YouTube Partner Program, 30 times that of the previous year. But YouTube couldn't keep this up. With the amount of creators joining the platform, YouTube had to find money fast. You see, one of the main reasons advertisers didn't want to advertise on YouTube was because of YouTube's bad advertising system. The system is called TrueView, and TrueView is what you see when you watch a YouTube video and there's an advertisement with a little skip button. TrueView tests and reports on all the analytics of the advertisement. It's how Google places advertisements on its services. But TrueView at the time was a very perplexing and untested system. It wasn't very precise and it wasn't good enough for advertisers. So Google had to make a major decision. And this decision, whether to pay for advertisers or creators, would have a significant impact on YouTube's future. Google obviously understood the importance of advertisers, so Susan was the perfect CEO, because under Susan, TrueView got refined and YouTube rapidly expanded its ad revenue, with YouTube far exceeding the viewership of TV networks while also having the backing of big budget advertisers. Susan had seemingly solved the billion-dollar question.
The small budget advertisers, because they're paying next to nothing to have the ads on there in the first place.
She was now gaining YouTube tons of revenue and lots more viewership. And with more revenue, YouTube could reinvest it back into gaining more views. It was a genius business move, and on the surface, it seemed like everything was fixed. But with every decision comes unforeseen consequences, and the results of this would only become more apparent in the years to come. So at this point, YouTube had worked out the perfect formula, gaining historic viewership while also being backed by the advertising industry. This gave YouTube big money to reinvest into making a better site, while also giving creators more incentive to upload higher quality videos. But like I mentioned before, everything and anything could be uploaded to YouTube. Spiteful bullying, commentary videos, eating hair cake, extremism, flat earth videos, anything. Because this was the core of YouTube, a place for anyone to broadcast themselves, which was great for everyone around the globe, apart from advertisers. Advertisers were having doubts about where the ads were being placed, and so advertisers began to pull out fast. Pepsi, BMW.
This is such a dumb issue. This is like the most first world issue ever. Oh my goodness, this ad is, it's going to like 3 billion people, but the ad is being shown next to a video where, well, where Ben Shapiro is speaking, or somebody who I don't like is speaking. And because of all of this, the ad is being placed next to someone I disagree with, and therefore my ad is being misrepresented. I think that most people watching YouTube understand that an ad is being paid for and is being allocated by a machine. No ad person went to every single video that the ad was placed in and said, here, let me put my ad on this video of a cat drowning.
Apple, and so in a desperate attempt to keep these advertisers on YouTube, YouTube would implement severe censorship rules, which led to stricter demonetization for creators. YouTube did this to ensure all its bases were covered, and that advertisers would be happy. In fact, it got...
Okay, here's the difference between TV and YouTube. YouTube actually has an open system where anyone can do whatever they want within these guidelines that they about to put and make a lot more strict over here. But the difference is that ads, people who run ads on TV know exactly what a show is like before they run ads on that show. Now I've got to think of an actual TV show. Oh my goodness, this is difficult. I haven't watched TV in a long time. Something like a Scorpion. Let's say I want to run ad on the channel that runs Scorpion. That channel will make sure that Scorpion has the same sense of quality and the same sense of likability throughout the whole series. If anything goes wrong, that bit of the series does not get aired. Scorpion still makes money. The people are slightly confused because half the story's missing, but the ad people got their ad, and they put their ad on something that wasn't too offensive to the people running the ads. If that makes any sense. So YouTube has this very complicated relationship with ad people, because the people running ads don't necessarily know where their ads are being run on, compared to in TV when they know exactly where their ads are being run on.
What's so extreme that YouTube's policy team, the people who determine what's acceptable and what's not, became completely unreachable for any creator or even YouTube staff to ensure the backlash would be minimal. This made censorship mysterious. You had no idea if your YouTube video would be removed or not. It was up to this mysterious policy team, and so this forced creators to become squeaky clean, all in the hopes that YouTube's policy team wouldn't demonetize and censor everything they made, which, as you can imagine, would take away all the fun channels. And then on February 2017,
Disagree. Not all of the fun channels went away. They just became a lot more clean than what they were before.
The Times of London reported that YouTube was supplying ads for videos from terrorist organizations and others that spouted hateful content. And while these claims may have been dubious, considering that the establishment media was completely threatened by YouTube, YouTube would still cave to the mob, because in the next month, major advertisers like AT&T, Verizon and Pepsi all threatened to pull ads from YouTube after their ads were discovered to be running alongside content that was, quote, promoting terrorism and anti-Semitism. So Susan...
Yeah, so I believe that a lot of this had to do with PewDiePie, because he did have a few times where headlines were calling him an anti-Semitic. So I believe that maybe somebody had seen these people's ads on a PewDiePie video and they were like, you know that this guy is anti-Semitic, and the advertisers must have been... This is just my idea of what might have gone on. I don't actually know any of this, but yeah, I can see where that would be an issue. But again, I don't think that anyone ever thinks this ad is playing on a PewDiePie video. Therefore, PewDiePie, the anti-Semitic, he isn't, but for the sake of the argument, the anti-Semitic believes that this toothpaste is the best toothpaste on the planet. I don't see where that would work. The only time I can think of that is if you're being advertised as a child, like under 13. Those kind of ideas of, well, this is a separate company that has nothing to do with PewDiePie, that never spoke to PewDiePie in the first place, advertising on a PewDiePie video. That wouldn't make sense to me. I don't understand why there would be a problem with an advertiser placing an ad on a video that the advertiser doesn't resonate with.
Suzanne Wojcicki would have to take some drastic measures, working with advertisers to specifically ensure that all their ads were placed on specific types of content and creators. And now this might sound reasonable, and it may have been the only option for Suzanne Wojcicki, but by doing this, this completely disconnected YouTube censors with YouTube creators and their audience, which slowly began to destroy everything that made YouTube. But back in this time, there was no real competition with YouTube. YouTube had the monopoly on video content, it was indestructible, and so they could...
Okay, so I don't know exactly what timeline he's looking at here, but there were a few people who have competition with YouTube. Over a long time, there have been quite a few. Vimeo was one, Odyssey's relatively new-ish one. Instagram and Facebook have a very different model of showing videos, but they're similar. China has had a YouTube for forever, Bilibili, but it's not necessarily an English-focused website. There's a lot of people who are in the same market as YouTube, showing videos to people and using an algorithm to make money and showing the people the videos they want to see. But yeah, no, I don't think that it's really as bad as you're saying it is. I think it's just different. It's not, they haven't become worse, they've become different from what they were and from what their original idea of a perfect website was.
kind of do whatever they wanted, and every creator would have to follow their orders. And so YouTube would go extremely hard on censoring and demonetizing videos. This period would later become known as the first adpocalypse, where nearly all creators would suffer the consequences, having countless videos that were once monetized removed from the monetization program. In some cases, due to the new content policies, many videos would be taken down and the channels that uploaded them were issued community strikes. And once 3 community strikes were issued, that would be the end of hundreds of thousands of YouTube careers.
Okay, so the community strike thing, I think that was very, very harsh. I think that there should have been a temporary ban like Twitch does, though I think that being consistent is very important. I don't think the way Twitch runs their temporary ban system is right, but I think that the permanent ban, we are going to be taking all of your videos off the platform, is very harsh, and I don't think that's right. I think maybe with the temporary ban, and then if they did something really bad, they take their videos off, like they shadow ban them almost, but just tell them that they've been shadow banned at least, but not having any of those videos accessible, but they're still there for if I can prove that I'm right and your stupid algorithm was wrong.
All in the name of advertising. But what made this even worse is the major double standards YouTube would apply. Because if you were in the YouTube elite, you could completely disregard these rules and be promoted for doing so. Like that one famous Japanese incident with Logan Paul. The incident which I can't talk about on YouTube.
Famous Japanese incident. Well, I believe he did have some recoil for this. I don't believe that this was just something that he just went through. He definitely didn't do the right thing, and I think what he did was against terms and services. And yes, I do think that YouTube has a lot of double standards, but I don't think it's the elite that has the double standards, the YouTube elite. Because there are a lot of channels. I think PewDiePie got shadow banned at some point without them telling that they... I don't think that shadow ban is a bad idea, but you should actually tell the creator when they've been shadow banned at least, and you should have a very good reason for shadow banning a person. Either way, I don't think the elites are separated. I think that maybe music video people are separated from the rest of the crowd because... it's become easier to speak to advertisers and be like, yeah, no, it's a music video, advertise on the music video. And I think they're more open to music videos, which is a problem, meaning that music videos get a lot of double standards where they won't let you do this in a normal video, but they will let you do this in a music video. They won't let you do this in a gaming video, but they will let you do this in the music video. So I think restrictions should become more strict on music videos to have that line flat, where everyone is consistently, there's consistent rules for everyone.
Logan would then upload this video to YouTube, where he would laugh about it throughout the entire video, receiving 6 million views before he decided to take it down. But the important...
Okay, I never actually saw this video, so I don't know how bad it was, but look, everyone is saying, oh my goodness, it was the worst thing ever. I have no clue. All I know is that it was against YouTube's terms of services, so it should have been taken down. And he did take it down. He apologized for it. I think I might have to do a reaction to his apology. It was probably one of the starting of the bad YouTuber apology trend. So yeah, we'll see if they speak about the apology here.
The important part here is that Logan Paul took it down, not YouTube. Even though this video completely broke YouTube's policy guidelines, YouTube would actually put it on their hand-picked trending page, with the video being...
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets on that trending page that I think should be against the YouTube terms and services. I don't know how a video gets onto the trending page. I don't think that people watch the whole video before putting on the trending page. Maybe they're like, oh, Logan Paul put a new video up, it's getting a lot of views very fast, let's put it on the trending page without even watching it. I think that might have been what happened. I don't know if the algorithm was advanced enough to detect automatically that there was a problem there. But I think from a YouTuber like Logan Paul, I don't think they automatically thought, hey, there's going to be a person that committed self-die in this video and is going to laugh about it the whole video. Yeah, I don't think that was the idea that went through anybody's head when watching when putting the Logan Paul video on the trending list.
Monetized and promoted, with YouTube refusing to even age restrict the video. And there's so many examples of this that I could just go on forever. But
I don't think it was refused to age restrict the video. Actually, wait, I don't think this is a place where they refused to age restrict it. I think they just didn't know about it, so they didn't age restrict it.
see it most clearly with music videos. Videos of rappers, children, or Lil Nas twerking on Satan. All of these videos are monetized and actively promoted across YouTube. Not to mention all the other provocative content from Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, just to name a few. While at the same time, videos by Jordan Peterson defending himself against ridiculous, far-reaching claims of racism and white supremacy were consistently removed across YouTube. In fact,
yes, there is a double standard, and I think that it's shown mostly towards people who are speaking about topics that are controversial and people who make music videos. So that's like two sides of the scale. People speaking about things that are controversial from an objective point of view often gets the ban hammer or demonetized, and people with music videos can basically do whatever they want without any action from YouTube side.
In fact, almost all political content was censored on the site, demonetized, striked, and censored into silence. Unless, of course, you weren't an independent creator. Because the only way to not be silenced or demonetized for political opinions is to have the right political opinions with the right corporate backing. If me or any
I don't think this is a good idea from a YouTube standpoint. Having specific people in speaking about controversial views censored and another specific people not censored is bad view for the whole website. It's bad all around. I don't think that's a good idea. I think everyone should get similar amounts of censorship or no censorship at all.
other independent YouTuber were to speak about controversial news events, my channel would likely be striked, posing a serious risk for my channel being completely deleted. And I'm not exaggerating, because even videos like my tragic tale of Kanye West video got demonetized with a manual review for no reason at all. Or like when you do pass YouTube censors to discuss things like a quote, digital ID codes, you can soon become a massive target. This happened to me in December when I posted a video on the metaverse and digital ID codes. In 7 days, the video had reached 1.9 million views, outranking all other videos on the same topic. But then after receiving criticism for my opinions, the YouTube algorithm switched off the tap completely. YouTube buried the video. You couldn't find it on any search result. It was completely blacklisted. And this happens to creators all the time on the platform. This isn't just me. People like Brett Weinstein have been struck multiple times for discussing such issues. However, if you're one of the late night Jimmys, you have a free pass to talk about anything you wish. Or if you
Okay, again, people from like a TV background will easily be able to keep monetization, not because YouTube is unfair, even though they are unfair like I have been saying the whole time, but this specific case is more about YouTube, the advertising people on YouTube. So like a person like Apple, they want to advertise their new iPhone 52. They say, we'll advertise on a more safe bet, basically anyone who came off TV, because they've been already screened multiple times. A person like, I can't think of a person off the top of my head, but any of the people that this guy has spoken about who are independent, they pose a risk because they don't have that kind of weight behind them where they mess up. CNN gets a bad rep. It's not just them that gets a bad rep.
If you're the establishment media, you'll always be given preferential treatment, always being artificially pushed by YouTube. And this isn't just happening to political videos, it's happening to all creators across the platform. A few years ago, PewDiePie was shadow banned from YouTube for no apparent reason. Filthy Frank's most viral videos all got removed from not abiding YouTube's content guidelines, even though at the time they followed all YouTube's guidelines. Leafy is Here's YouTube channel got terminated in 2020. Even Sky News Australia, a mainstream conservative news network, was banned for over a week following the airing of a presentation of, quote, are unconfirmed theories on the new virus. In fact, just a year ago,
Well, yeah, there were a lot of videos about, or like just even mentioning the virus gave many issues for many YouTubers. I think that was more of a YouTube covering their bum situation where it's like, yeah, we don't want a culture inside YouTube with a lot of conspiracy theories, or else people don't go onto YouTube because it's full of conspiracy theories. It's the same reason they toned down gaming videos. They artificially nerfed gaming videos because the whole YouTube algorithm was full of gaming videos, and a person who's older that didn't want to watch gaming videos got bombarded by gaming videos. So they were like, this is not actually good for our audience. We don't have enough people watching that aren't watching gaming videos. Let's tone the gaming videos down, and then we'll get more people. So they artificially largened the pond, if that's a decent way to say it, if you're getting what I'm saying there, by not having as many gaming videos show up on somebody's feed. I think it's a similar thing with the vaccine. They didn't want a place full of conspiracy theories, or else people will move to a different platform that has people with less conspiracy theories.
if you spoke about a certain lab, you would be entirely scrubbed from the site. Even the President Donald Trump was banned from YouTube. And even independent film creators like Rucka Rucka have all their videos demonetized.
Yeah, I don't think Trump was only banned from YouTube. I think Trump was banned from a few other places. It's not that surprising that Trump was banned from YouTube.
And this isn't a conspiracy theory. In fact, YouTube's inner workings are quite public to almost all YouTubers, with the content guidelines for YouTube changing at least once every 3 months since 2020, becoming stricter every single time. That's why content that might have been acceptable just a few years ago now all of a sudden gets taken down or demonetized just because a new version of the algorithm changed a fraction. By doing this, it marks a dramatic change in YouTube's core foundation. YouTube's really no longer for anyone and everyone. In the words of Philip K. Dick, the basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. By making these decisions, YouTube was going against the free speech utopia that YouTube was so destined to achieve. And by doing this, YouTube created a huge gap in the market, a gap that would soon be filled by a random lip syncing site called TikTok. Now, it might seem premature to say that YouTube is going the way of MySpace, but all the factors that led to the downfall of MySpace are exactly the same forces working against YouTube today.
I've forgotten about what actually led to MySpace's death. This is going to be very interesting.
Back in 2009, Facebook overtook MySpace in active users and controlled the market, completely destroying MySpace. A commonly given reason for this was that MySpace's huge dip in popularity came from corporate interests, and due to the site's outdated business model. In 2006, Google had pledged $900 million in an advertising deal with the social media giant. But with the mass introduction of adverts on MySpace, combined with an already poorly managed UI, and MySpace quickly became an ugly, old-fashioned site. This made Facebook the more viable option for users. However,
So it was too many ads on MySpace, I guess. The issue here is that people have tolerated ads for years. Something like TV, like cable TV, has so many ads that YouTube is actually an upgrade. And that's hilarious because you actually pay for TV, you don't pay for YouTube. So I think they might be moving. I don't think that adding more ads will drive that many people away from YouTube. Although we'll see what this guy says about that.
However, the problem was about much more than just UI. The real main problem was that adverts got so bad on the site that it started to get in the way of the function of the site. MySpace was now focusing on the experience for advertisers and not on users. And there are scarily a lot of parallels between MySpace and YouTube. Another key factor for MySpace's downfall was that MySpace couldn't capture a younger audience. At the time of their rivalry, one of Facebook's main strengths was its ability to capture a younger audience than MySpace. And TikTok is exactly the same as this, with its audience skewing much younger than YouTube's aging user base. And the problem with an aging audience is far more catastrophic than it first may seem. One of YouTube's main draws is its kingmaker ability for young content creators. Back in its golden age, the prevailing culture on YouTube was one of creativity, excitement, and virality. Anyone could make it big on the platform with just one viral video. which would then be the catalyst for a long and successful career on the site. But this isn't the case nowadays, with most new internet stars coming from TikTok or other sites rather than YouTube. YouTube sealed their own fate in this respect with their demonetization of new creators playing directly into TikTok's hands. All of these factors, just as they led to MySpace's demise and Facebook's rise, will lead to TikTok supplanting YouTube, and the process is already underway. It took YouTube 17 years of staying ahead of the curve to gain its 2.1 billion active monthly users. However, TikTok, in just 2 years, amassed over 1 billion active monthly users.
I think the issue here is less about ads and more about copyright law. I think that TikTok isn't as restrained in like a copyright sense as YouTube. I'm not sure how this works, but you can have a song made by somebody else that is copyrighted under a video on TikTok, whereas you struggle to get something like that to happen on YouTube. I don't know how monetization works on TikTok. All I'm saying is there might be a thing about different restrictions around different governments. So TikTok is actually run in China, meaning I guess they can run under different laws, and because the tech companies in China are actually working for the government and not necessarily for the person who owns the company, I think that China might just do whatever they want, and TikTok can do the same. So I think that copyright law is a lot less strict on TikTok, and therefore many people are moving to TikTok instead, and that's not anything YouTube can stop or change, sadly.
Users, and it shows no signs of stopping. And at first it may seem that these sites aren't competing. After all, TikTok's famous for its short videos which reward creativity and humor. You don't really get in-depth videos on TikTok.
It doesn't promote creativity and humor. I'm just gonna go there.
Seeing as its maximum video length is only 3 minutes, TikTok doesn't really seem to be competing with YouTube's traditionally longer form content. However, this is changing from both sides. YouTube's been putting more and more of their focus into YouTube Shorts, which is why you're now starting to see most of your favorite YouTubers use YouTube Shorts, as this is a desperate attempt to crush TikTok's competition. However, TikTok on the other hand, is now trying to extend their maximum video length.
I think he's missing that a lot of other platforms are also having short form content kind of things, like VK, Instagram I guess has a short thing. I think they call them Reels or something like that. I don't remember if YouTube has one, but I don't remember if Facebook has one. And then there's also TikTok. So it's not only TikTok that they're responding to. I think they're responding to the whole industry as everyone. And I think Vine started this trend. Although I think it's dumb. Anyway, we're gonna move on from that.
To 10 minutes. These moves by both companies are putting the platforms in direct competition with each other.
10 minutes is not long at all. Did he say max 10 minutes? I can't find that.
Because users usually stick to one platform. Desperate attempt to crush TikTok's competition. Because users usually stick to one platform. And with TikTok's much faster growth and younger audience, it seems like this battle can't be won. And TikTok's move into longer videos will create even more problems for YouTube. Since YouTube's always had a monopoly on music videos, if you're an artist and wanted your music video to get really...
This is dumb. I think that YouTube should just give up on the music videos. Even though it makes them more money, like from a business point of view, it's a dumb idea to give up music videos. But the way that TikTok has been doing music videos gives everyone a chance, and not just Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber. They're the only people who really have to doing a decent music video on YouTube, as opposed to TikTok, where people, as long as you pay the right people, you can get a decently viewed music video and make a career from that music video on TikTok, because of the way that you can share sounds and that. Although I think that YouTube has tried to get this to work, the kinds of people that use YouTube don't really explore all the new features. So that won't actually do anything, because everyone's used to the TikTok feature and not used to the YouTube feature. And I bet that most people don't even know it's there.
any amount of attention online, it had to be on YouTube. Music videos are also one of the main draws to the site. 9 of the top 10 most viewed videos on the site are some sort of music video. YouTube is also based
Freaking Baby Shark. I hate
much of their monetization around music videos. Quote, 91% of YouTube music users have watched a related YouTube video beforehand. This all means that if TikTok
Yeah, so I don't think that's relevant at all. The way that YouTube handles music stuff in general makes it next to impossible for new creators to get a decent music video onto YouTube, because people have a higher standard on YouTube, number one. Number two, the algorithm is set up completely differently. It just doesn't work. TikTok is just objectively better in an algorithm sense, because you can duet another person's video and you can use the same sound, therefore making a sound viral, and from there people get the song.
starts to erode YouTube's dominance of the music video market, it could take away a large proportion of YouTube's user base as well as his income. This is yet another way that TikTok will gain ground on YouTube in the years to come. But the final and most important nail in the coffin is YouTube's corporatization that has pushed YouTube's creative edge into the ground. Right now, TikTok is taking away the very pillars that made YouTube so successful, because TikTok makes it far easier for any user to go viral without any prior following. It provides anyone an audience with millions without shadow banning or censorship. Anyone can express their opinions on TikTok, unless it's about the Chinese government. This is why 13 TikTok accounts now reach 1 million followers a day, compared to YouTube, where only 5 YouTubers reach 1 million a day. Because TikTok makes it
No, because TikTok has a lot of bots that are watching people's videos.
far easier to become famous. All you need is a
Bots famous. TikTok famous and YouTube famous are a different thing.
good song and use TikTok's own editing tools and you can become a viral hit. Whereas on YouTube, it takes months and years to gain anywhere near the traction of a simple TikTok video. And with TikTok's incredible user interface, insidious algorithm and short dopamine sucking videos, TikTok has become a far more addictive app, with the average TikTok user spending 52 minutes a day on the app, while the average YouTube user only spends 11 minutes and
I don't buy this number. I really don't, because who on earth watches one video, number one. Number two, there's no ways that the average person only watches an 11-minute video. If you look at the video length of the video you're watching right now, which is me, it's probably about 30 to 40, maybe even 50 minutes. Thank you for watching to the end. You probably didn't. The other thing is 25 minutes and 11 seconds, and well, we've got decent engagement all around here, except for Clean Fox. Anyway, so yeah, I don't buy this number, but if it's right, it's right. But it might be the way that bots are running on YouTube. I don't understand this number completely.
24 seconds on the app. It seems very apparent that by YouTube's silencing of opinions, demonetization of creativity, and the promotion of corporatized media and advertisements on its platform, and YouTube is now
I don't think that the silencing of opinions has changed TikTok in any way, shape, or form. So I don't think those people have jumped ship to TikTok. I think they moved to something like Odyssey or Vimeo. The advertising, I still don't think they jumped to TikTok, because you can't really earn that much that easily on TikTok. What is that the last bit?
the ground. Right now, TikTok is taking away the very pillars that made YouTube so successful, because TikTok makes it far easier for any user to go viral without any prior following. It provides anyone an audience with millions without shadow banning or censorship. Anyone can express their opinions on TikTok, unless it's about the Chinese government. This is why 13 TikTok accounts now reach 1 million followers a day, compared to YouTube, where only 5 YouTubers reach 1 million a day. Because TikTok makes it far easier to become famous. All you need is a good song and use TikTok's own editing tools and you can become a viral hit. Whereas on YouTube, it takes months and years to gain anywhere near the traction of a simple TikTok video. And with TikTok's incredible user interface, insidious algorithm and short dopamine sucking videos, TikTok has become a far more addictive app, with the average TikTok user spending 52 minutes a day on the app, while the average YouTube user only spends 11 minutes and 24 seconds on the app. It seems very apparent that by YouTube's silencing of opinions, demonetization of creativity, and the promotion of corporatized media.
Yeah, demonetization of the quote-unquote creativity. The issue is that I think it has spawned its own form of creativity where people are being creative in not being demonetized. But yes, silencing of opinions. I don't think that that has changed TikTok that much because normal opinions that are being silenced are very long, and TikTok hasn't. From what I know, I don't use TikTok, but TikTok hasn't implemented the 10-minute thing yet. I don't think that many people have moved to TikTok for that. I think they moved to Odyssey or Vimeo, like I said. The monetization, I don't think they moved to TikTok for that because I don't think there was a way that you can get monetized on TikTok. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like, oh my goodness, I don't think many people have made a lot of money off TikTok other than from sponsorships, which you can do on YouTube as well. And then you also get AdSense. So I don't see any of those as reasons that people would be jumping ship to TikTok.
Media and advertisements on its platform, and
Wait. He said
silencing of opinions, demonetization of creativity, and the promotion of corporate
promotion of
media and advertisements on its platform. And
yeah, well, doesn't TikTok have ads? I thought TikTok has ads as well. Otherwise, there is no way that you can get paid on TikTok because then where is the money coming from? There must be like a pyramid scheme somewhere. Like you can't get paid when the company that you're watching from doesn't get paid either.
And YouTube is now driving away its creators and audience, which is very sad because unlike most other social media sites, I truly believe that YouTube is good for society. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, YouTube in a sense is good for society, but in another sense it isn't. And YouTube Shorts are definitely, for the most part, not good for society.
Grateful for the opportunity that YouTube has provided me personally, but overall, its actions are ruining the platform. And TikTok,
Its actions aren't ruining the platform. I think for the most part, most of the actions make business sense. I don't think they could be choosing much better actions. There are different like places where YouTube isn't fair, like music videos need to be clamped down more on. Advertisers just need to keep quiet and actually play their ads on people's stuff because it doesn't really matter where your ad is being played. And there's lots of things that YouTube is doing wrong, but most of them aren't these things that he's saying here. And I think that I think it's just too late for YouTube to properly integrate shorts, and therefore people are using TikTok rather than YouTube.
I regard in much worse regards, is now taking over, and understandably so, because TikTok is a newer and more updated way to broadcast yourself. It is doing what YouTube's forgotten, and sadly by this point, I'm not even
YouTube hasn't forgotten it. They've just literally been put into a corner with no way out. They don't have a choice. So if they do end up not existing in 5 years, which I doubt they will, maybe like 10 or 15 years, they'll be on their way out. But I don't know. I think that maybe it will move to a system where there's lots of different social media platforms, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then you will just be on all of these social media platforms so that it's easier to track you in between, and then each of them earns more money from not necessarily advertisements, but information, selling your information that you had on another website or social media platform. I think that might be the only way to move on from here because advertisements have become too cheap. That's just I can't believe that ads cost what ads cost. And it's actually quite sad. And that's the reason why all of these companies might go down in the near future. They might all just raise their prices, and then companies will be forced to pay the bigger price for ads. But yeah.
Not even sure if there's a solution for YouTube this time. Suzanne Wojcicki, while making YouTube the success it is today, may also be the main reason for its downfall.
I don't think she's the main reason for its downfall. I think that any strong businessman. I think even if Steve Jobs was still alive to this day and he was running YouTube, I don't think he would have made better decisions than Susan Wojcicki. And I think of Steve Jobs quite highly as a business person, even though some of his decisions, every single business person will make the wrong decision sometimes. And I don't think Susan Wojcicki made that many bad decisions. I still think that YouTube will exist in 5 years. I think that it's going to more split up into people who want an informational video go to YouTube. People who want to sit and scroll on their phone will go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And I think it's going to stay like that for quite a long time until eventually it splits into a lot of different social media platforms. And then they will all be stealing information from each other and selling it to advertisers. And then advertisers will place ads, but the ads won't be the profitable, but it's the information that they're selling to the advertisers to place those ads. I don't know if anything that just came out of my mouth made any sense. But if it did, please click that like button. You literally watched an hour-long video, I think. So thank you so much for watching. I am going to get ready to go to bed now.